Hello everyone, and welcome back to Danganronpa. Today, we're gonna start one hell of a court session? Yeah, court session. I'm sorry. My brain hasn't been here that much. I've been sick for a while. I hope you'll enjoy this episode. I never held out. You like that? Okay, let's get you assigned seat. And so, the court opened once again. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly fate, a deadly last trial. Why deadly, yes, because 2 people died instead of 1. Now, let's see. Let's see our 2 bullets. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Let's begin with a basic explanation of the class trial. So, your votes will determine the results. If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Now then, to begin with...
We already know who did it!
Was that?
It was Hiro. He does not have an alibi for when the murders took place, and we found him in that suit.
That doesn't mean
Don't try and deny it! You killed them!
I didn't! Someone knocked me out! I was asleep the whole time! I don't know anything about it!
Shut your murdering mouth, murderer!
Who are you calling a murderer?
I am sorry to say, Hiro, but we do have evidence. Blueprints for the suit. Parts we assume were used to build it. And all of it was found in your room. You have to admit, the evidence is quite compelling. It points to you as having created the suit and wearing it while committing crime after crime.
How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know!
Is Hiro really the killer? No. No, he's not. Or that, anything else, we have to make that clear.
Everything we found in your room. The blueprints, the suit parts, they are all proof enough.
No, that's wrong.
Blueprints aren't the same as...
Are we sure Hero really made those blueprints?
What do you mean?
Well, take a look at this. It's the note that Hero wrote, asking everyone to meet up after Alter Ego disappeared. The handwriting's obviously different, wouldn't you say?
Extremely different.
When you compare it to the blueprints.
There's no way you could think the same person made both of them.
Unless that person made it a point to disguise their handwriting.
No, the differences are bigger than that, I think.
Come on! I'm not smart enough to think of trying to change my handwriting anyway.
That's probably true.
Are you saying you don't think Hero's the culprit?
And he's not the only one. I think Hero's innocent as well.
What? Then who was in that Robo-Justice suit? Is it like Hero said? Was there really someone running around in a second suit?
The suspicious individual hidden within the suit. Go ahead, Makoto. Tell them who it was.
It was Hero. Of course it passes off to me.
So? Who was in the Robo-Justice suit?
I got it!
Technically was Hero, but
Other than Hero, I can't think of anyone else it could have been. Obviously, he was the one in that particular suit, and we never found any kind of second suit.
yeah, but
Then there can be no doubt. Hero is the prime suspect.
That doesn't make any sense. You just said Hero didn't do it.
It makes perfect sense. Hero was the suspicious individual in the suit, but he's not the culprit.
So what you're saying is...
the killer
right.
is not the
The
robot.
culprit in this case has nothing to do with being in the Robo-Justice suit.
Nothing
What?
at all.
Now that's a bold assumption. And what reason do you have to make such a statement? You do have a reason, yes.
Of course. But before we get to that, there's something else we need to clarify first. So let's get that out of the way.
Hey, stop trying to boss us around.
Nope.
All
He won't.
things have a proper order.
So what is it? What needs to be clarified?
We must clarify the method of transportation for Taka's lifeless body.
True.
It would seem that his corpse was moved using certain particular items. Makoto, can you tell us what they were?
I got it!
The trolley and the tarp.
I got it! They were a dolly and a tarp, right?
The attitude,
So,
trolley, yeah.
let's see if I can explain. Taka's body disappeared from the equipment room, and then we rediscovered it in the repository.
Yep.
And when we found it for the second time, it was wrapped in a blue tarp, right?
Meanwhile, the
It
other
was
one.
the same tarp that up until then was stored in the equipment room. So the killer must have seen it there and decided to use it when they moved Taka's body. That way, they wouldn't leave any bloodstains while they were moving it.
Okay, that explains the tarp. And the dolly?
Same thing. I'm sure the dolly was in the equipment room when we first found Taka's body there. But when the body disappeared, so did the dolly.
Yeah, they both disappeared. I wonder
Later,
why.
when Taka's body reappeared in the
Was
repository,
used.
so did the dolly.
In other words, you think they used the dolly to move the body. Am I right? But are you sure you are not mistaken?
Huh?
Are you absolutely positive the dolly was in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? That dolly was made specifically for moving large objects between the repository and the art room. It would be very strange indeed to discover it had made its way to the equipment room. Is it not possible that it was in the repository all along, and you simply didn't realize it?
She's raised an objection. How do you respond?
There is no shame in being wrong. Nobody expects much from you anyway. We have all accepted the fact that you rarely understand what is going on around you.
I've never had anyone sound so nice while being so mean, but maybe you can change your mind. I can explain to them why the dolly must have been moved from the respiratory room to the... New element has been added to bullet time battle. Would you like to hear more? Of course. Talk about reloading. Starting with the next bullet time battle, we're gonna add more ingredients to the recipe. On the button on the screen, read the tempo marker, you'll see ammo count. Up until now, there hasn't really been a limit on how to destroy your opponent's statement. But from now on, just locking on and pressing the left mouse button won't be enough to handle them. Now it will cost you 1 bullet to destroy a single remark. Once you run out of bullets, you can destroy any more statement, no matter how locked on you are. You can reload, but tapping the tab key, okay. Just like locking on, you'll have to press the tab key in time with the tempo marker. Basically, remember that the tab key now functions along with the RMB and the LMB buttons. Automatically reload at the start of fever time, and your ammo will not decrease. But if your action difficulty is set to gentle, you won't have to reload at all. Am I on gentle? I don't know. I don't remember. In which case, you can ignore everything I just said. I don't know if I'm on gentle. Oh my god, I forgot. Well then, good luck and have fun. Yeah, have fun. Fun.
You have it wrong! I cannot agree! You are a fool. So pathetic. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst. Away with you! You miserable wretch! I cannot agree. You are a fool. Lies will get you nowhere. Do your worst, you miserable wretch! You have it wrong! I cannot agree. You are a fool. So pathetic. I cannot agree.
This should prove it.
Music is good in that
If
section.
you're asking for proof that the dolly moved, I have it right here. When I found the dolly
There's
in the
Mustangs.
repository, one of the wheels had
Wheel.
a blood stain on it. There was a pool of blood in the equipment room with a tire mark in it that matched the dolly wheel's trail. The killer probably rolled the dolly through the blood on accident as they wheeled the body out of the room. And as the blood dried on the tire, they moved the body into the repository. So there's my proof that the dolly was used to move Taka's body.
Jeez, the souls really hate me that much.
Well, anyway, that was just something we had to get out of the way. Let's get back to the main subject.
yes, please.
Yeah, the subject of how Robo Justice didn't do it. Because if it's not a killer robot, then what kind of robot is it?
I'm not sure that really matters.
Cosplay.
I'd be happy to explain why the occupant of the suit couldn't possibly be the killer. If you look back on how the body was transported, it will become immediately obvious.
Extremely obvious. If I look how the body was moved, it will be clear what the dude couldn't have done it. What does he mean by that? It couldn't bend at the waist!
As we know, Taka was killed in the equipment room. And from there, the body was moved to the repository, correct?
Yeah, the culprit wrapped the body in the tarp, then loaded it onto the dolly and wheeled it off, right?
Now, keep in mind that the dolly doesn't have a handle.
Well, yeah, but even without a handle, all you'd have to do is bend over.
You can't
No, that's
bend
wrong.
over.
You're absolutely right that you could push a dolly without a handle if you stoop down low. But if you were wearing that suit, do you think you could actually get into a position like that?
What do you mean?
Think back to what you said when we were all checking out the suit together, remember?
Unpleasant bad in here. Can't see my feet at all, and I'm surprised you can't go anywhere in that thing. Not to mention, you totally can't bend at the waist.
When you're in that suit, not only can you not see your feet, but you can't even bend at the waist. Am I right about that?
Now that you mention it, yeah.
It seems like it'd be awfully hard to push that dolly if you couldn't bend over.
Well, what's to stop you from simply pushing the dolly with your feet?
When you can't even see your feet? You really think someone could kick the dolly all that way?
True more.
Yeah, it'd be totally impossible. Not that I can say for sure myself.
On top of that, if you were wearing such a rigid, cumbersome suit, it's very unlikely you would have the dexterity to go about wrapping the body in a tarp.
Very
Well, I
unlikely,
mean,
yes.
isn't that just a matter of taking off the suit when you're ready to move the body?
There's absolutely no chance.
I got it!
Can't take it off
I don't think
himself.
taking off the suit was an option. If you remember,
Yeah, he couldn't remove it by himself. Because there was a latch on the backside. Which is kinda dumb. The sturdy latch.
That's true. It seems impossible to put the suit on or take it off without help.
Then, you really can't take it off by yourself? Hero wasn't just making it up?
Of course I wasn't making it up.
if he could have gotten it off by himself, I don't think he would have let us see him wearing it. Showing up in the suit was basically an invitation for everyone to suspect it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, it's really, really true that Robo-Justice couldn't have moved the dolly?
I
To
don't
be
know.
clear, whoever did move the body, it couldn't have been Hero in the robot suit, correct?
Correct.
No, wait. Just a second, if you please. Have you forgotten about the picture that I took?
Oh yeah,
You
it's
all got a
totally
good look
real
at it,
picture.
did you not? The image of Hifumi being dragged away by Robo-Justice? If whoever was in that suit is not the culprit, how do you explain that? Besides, do you remember what the now deceased Hifumi said?
How did you get hurt? That guy hit me. What guy? Robo-Justice. I decided to call him just now.
So long as those facts exist, the proper conclusion is beyond question. The individual inside the suit and the culprit are one and the same. It was Hiro, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You're being right.
Yeah, that's
Weird.
gotta be right.
Hold on a second!
It's still far too early to reach that conclusion.
Way too early.
Besides, there's no hurry to decide who did it. Before we rush to a verdict, shouldn't we explore every single possibility?
Every single one.
Instead of seizing on one viewpoint, the truth is uncovered by analyzing things from every angle.
Perhaps, but where do we go from here?
Let's review this series of unfortunate events from the beginning. Maybe we'll uncover something new.
What a pain in the ass!
I don't disagree, but our lives are on the line. If this is what it takes, we have to do it.
Plus, maybe we'll get to find out where the heck Kyoko was when everything went down.
All right then, let's take
Uh-oh.
another look back at what happened. I suppose we could start with this morning. 4 of us gathered together in the dining hall. Makoto, Hina, Kyoko, and myself. We waited there for quite a while, but nobody else showed up, so we went to look for everyone. That was around 8 a.m.
And as soon as we split up, Kyoko went missing.
Soon after that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room and quickly came to get Makoto and me.
It seems I was unconscious for about an hour after I was attacked by my mystery assailant. I know it was an hour because I remember being attacked a little after 7.
That was when we saw Celeste's picture and discovered that her assailant had been wearing a strange costume. As it turns out, it was Robo-Justice. It also soon became clear that this same Robo-Justice had abducted Hifumi.
Or
We were
so
soon
she
joined in our
says.
search by Byakuya and Toko, and then went on to find Hifumi in the library. He was injured, so we took him to the nurse's office and resumed our search for the suspect. But not long after leaving the nurse's office,
She's the only one that saw something.
When Celeste told us that, we decided to split up and search the second floor. And soon after that,
I saw someone moving around on the 3rd floor, and I yelled out to everyone as soon as I did.
And she's the only one who saw him again. Which, to be honest, makes her look more and more suspicious.
and then,
The little round boy is the one that screamed out.
at that point, we decided to divide up into 2 groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office, while Sakura, Byakuya, and Toko chased after the suspect. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi, dead. And that's when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina there and headed back to the 3rd floor to let the others know what had happened.
Because something else happened at the same time.
meanwhile, we had just discovered Taka's body in the equipment room. We must have found both bodies at almost exactly the same time, because we heard the same announcement not long after we discovered his body.
And that's when I told you guys about Hifumi. Then the 3 of us headed for the nurse's office. But right after we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who'd arrived after us, and she told us something very surprising.
The body disappeared, which is extra weird.
We rushed back to the nurse's office and saw that she was right.
Then we remembered we'd left Toko passed out in the equipment room, so we hurried back again.
Both bodies disappeared, which is
But
improbable.
when we got there, we discovered that now Taka's body had also gone missing. Next thing we knew, we were searching the school for 2 missing dead bodies. And after some time...
Celeste informed us that she'd found the bodies, and we all headed to the repository, which is where we rediscovered the corpses.
I think that about covers it.
I see. The whole thing sounds exceptionally complicated. It certainly seems to me that these are not a simple series of connected events.
Okay, well, if that's true, then what?
Rather than a single series of events, I think we have to consider each murder a separate situation. And from there, we can uncover the contradictions surrounding all of them. Now then, let's get started, beginning with what happened to Taka.
Contradiction hidden in what happened to Taka. To uncover the truth of this case, I have to find them no matter what. I think it's about the Justice Hammer, maybe.
So, regarding Taka's death,
Wait. That doesn't help at
I wonder
all.
if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in. Taka
we?
came last
What makes you say that?
because of the numbering of the Justice Hammers.
It's true that Hifumi was killed with Justice Hammer 3, while Taka's death came from a swing of Justice Hammer 4.
See? So it's obvious Taka came after.
So, regarding Taka's death, I wonder if he died before Hifumi, or perhaps it was after?
We already know what order they were killed in.
No, that's wrong.
The numbering is wrong. Because
Hold on. There's no reason to assume that the hammers were used in
Exactly.
the same order as their numbers. If anything, that's just another way the killer tried to disguise their actions.
So you're saying the culprit wanted us to think the hammers were used in order, but in reality, Taka was killed before Hifumi?
exactly.
Okay then, let's see the proof.
Evidence that proves that Taka was killed before Hifumi. Something that relates to the time that must have died. The writing? Wristwatch.
Now I understand. I've got it. Taka's wristwatch. See? Look. It broke with the hands pointing just past 6 o'clock.
It must have gotten broken when he was attacked by the killer. Because as of last night,
He was still alive and bleeding. So it can't be 6 p.m. It must be 6 a.m.
so if it wasn't broken after 6 last night, then he must have been attacked around 6 this morning.
Exactly.
And that would be his official time of death.
But if that's true, then he was killed well before Hifumi.
And before Celeste was attacked this morning, which happened around 7.
That's right. Taka was killed before any of the other incidents took place.
That simple fact slipped past all of us. We made the wrong assumption about the order of events, all because of those justice hammers.
That's exactly why the culprit wrote the numbers on each hammer and had them increase in size. That way, when we saw how they were used in each incident, we'd easily make that wrong assumption.
Exactly.
Now, if Taka was killed around 6, then everyone's alibis for his murder go out the window. Because when he was killed, we hadn't met up in the dining hall yet.
That may be true in the case of Taka's murder. But all of our alibis still hold true for Hifumi's death.
That's right. With him, at least, we're all safe.
Are we though? But what if he wasn't dead? If we remember the glasses that he wiped,
When we heard Hifumi
was-
screaming,
that
we were
were
all
wiped.
together. Except for Hiro and Kyoko.
after first death,
Then we all ran
Exactly.
down to the nurse's office. And that's
clues
where
were
we found his
cleaned
body.
after this.
That's totally true. We're all in the clear.
Oh, I know! They must have recorded him screaming on a tape or something, then played it later on!
If that's true, where's the tape?
I don't know.
Don't just go making stuff up.
Anyway, we all have rock-solid alibis for when we heard Hifumi scream.
For now,
Since all of us were there together, clearly none of us could have killed him.
And it does not stop there. There was also the moment when we discovered his body had disappeared. When his body vanished from the nurse's office, Hina and I were in the bathroom together, while everyone else was in the equipment room, correct? And then there's the disappearance of Taka's body from the equipment room. At that time, we were all gathered together in the nurse's office because of Hifumi going missing.
Well, don't forget, I was passed out in the equipment room the whole time.
Wait, then what if Genocide Jill did it? She could have dragged Taka's body out of there right then!
no,
Even if she
was
could
still
pull that
there.
off, there's no way she could have done the same with Hifumi's body.
Exactly.
Because, as we just established, she was passed out in the equipment room when his body disappeared.
Besides, I didn't do either of them anyway.
In other words, it is impossible that any of us could have killed Hifumi or moved either of their bodies. On the other hand, Hiro and Kyoko had disappeared, so they most certainly could have done those things.
So what now, Kyoko?
For now, we can't get fixated on who did it, or we'll just keep going around in circles. So instead of who, I propose we start talking about how.
And I think we'll discuss the how next time. But I'm pretty sure everyone already knows the how. But who knows? Maybe some things surprise us. Until next time. Until next time. if I can speak better. We'll see. Masky, out.